And we are live,
What it
baby.
do,
What's
baby?
going on?
What's
Jeez,
going on?
Nation podcast.
Yeah, buddy. For everybody
Let's
out
go.
there, it's your boy TG.
It's your boy Durrel.
It's your boy Jordan.
And I'm going to go ahead and point down because I think he's right there on the live, too.
Oh, right
everybody,
there. Hey,
that's
right
our
there.
homie Mota.
Motanyo,
Yeah.
Exodus.
Jeez.
You guys know what it is, man.
Exodos. What it do, baby? How you doing, man? How you feeling? How's
I'm
life?
good, man. I'm good. It's great to be back with my brothers. It's been so long.
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
1 minute, bro.
Hearing you guys, man, it's amazing, man.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate jumping on the show. You were like,
100%.
I think you were our first guest ever, dude. I think. Yeah, you
Was.
were.
I
Like
was.
our
was
first,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
time.
I
Which
was.
is amazing.
Because a lot of change since then.
Yeah, bro.
A lot, man. Growth.
Yeah,
Jeez,
I'm
let's
seeing
go.
the girl
100.
with the mic right now. Like, it's crazy growth.
Yeah, it's
Um,
amazing, man. It's amazing. So you know what, bro? Obviously to get started, obviously we have a lot, a little bit, thank goodness, man, our listenership's a little bit higher, so they don't probably know you. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, bro? Where they can find you, where they can follow you, what's the businesses like. Honestly, bro, this is your time, man. Let the world know who you are.
Man, so once again, my name is Mota. People know me as Exodus. I'm a stylist. I'm a style coach. You can find me on Instagram, MXODOS_. I am the style director for Exodus Creatives, Exodus Realms. I'm also a stylist for numerous people in the city and also abroad. That's pretty much what I do. I live, I breathe fashion. I love giving people fashion advice, and that's pretty much in a nutshell who I be, man. Big shout outs to, Tony, Durrel, Jordan for having me on here, man. It's an honor, it's a privilege. I don't take it for granted, so that's pretty much what it is, man. That's pretty much what it is. That's who I be.
Heck yeah, bro. Heck yeah. And obviously, before we went live, we're obviously catching up a little bit just for the audience that's out there. Everybody's going to stream the podcast. Obviously, we get on, checking our mic levels or whatever, just kind of making sure a few minutes before. But Mota, man, I asked you before we got on what's new, and you said, man, I got a ton going on. So go ahead and take this time to be official, bro, because you've been teasing us on like Instagram or what you've been doing. So go ahead, bro. Let us know what's going on with you, bro. What's new in your life? What's the next move?
Man, listen, it's been a crazy, a crazy 60 days, man. It's been a crazy 60 days. Made a couple life-changing moves, not only for myself, for the brand, business, and for everyone around me. I haven't really had a chance to speak out. I'm the type of person I just be posting and I keep moving. Collecting silent W's. That's what I do.
Yes,
I love
bro.
that's fire. That's fire.
I'm like, you know what? Listen, it's an honor and privilege, to be on here and just break that news that
Hey, let's
that
go.
kid
Let's go.
from Toronto
Yes,
is now
sir.
in Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas is home. I made the move back in September. Just to expand. Everything that's fashion related, everything that is business related. For me, for the brand. I've been here. It's been a crazy 60 days. You think about just leaving everything and everyone behind. You think about like the groove that you had, and it's like, okay, you're told to stop everything that you're doing and go to a place that you're not even familiar with. I've never been to Dallas, Texas in my life. I didn't know what to expect. I got out here and I got greeted with open arms. Working with the J Bolin styling agency. Celebrity stylist Jay Bolin, be able to, work with numerous different clients in the last 60 days. Everything is so fast paced. You think about the grind, you're so used to, working back home and doing what you do, but then you get into, the root of the environment in itself, and you see how tough and how demanding it is. Listen, man, it's been a journey. It's been a process, but, I'm getting used to it. I'm getting better at it each and every day, and it's a privilege for me to break that down on the show, the podcast where I was the first guest where it all started, so like if I'm gonna break my silence, it's only good to break it at home.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go, bro. We appreciate
100%.
that, man. We
Yeah, we
appreciate
100%
that.
appreciate that, bro.
Heck yeah, bro. So why Dallas, bro? Like why there?
You know what? a lot of people ask me why Dallas. You know, people think like, yo, you know what?
Could have
You
went
think
to
about,
H Town though. You know what I'm
you
saying?
know, you think,
Nah,
you think
just
about
like
H Town, you think about LA, you think about New York. It's like, why Dallas? You know, Dallas was a calculated move. It was a calculated move. You think about the opportunity. You think about the growth. You know, no one's really ever come out of Dallas like that. You know, you have people that come out of New York. You have people that come out of LA. You have people that come out of Atlanta. You know, but no one's really ever come out of Dallas like that. Dallas is like a hub where it's like you can get everything started. You know, you can build your portfolio. You can beef it up, and then when you get to that LA, New York, Atlanta, it's like it just brings you to a whole different dimension. You know, so Dallas was a calculated move for me where, you know, I was gonna use this time to beef up my portfolio. You know, make a name for myself in the states, and then go for the big leagues where we all know, you know, those people reside. You know.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's dope. That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. So, you know, yeah, man. I mean, I can relate a bit. You know, obviously I didn't move for business purposes, but I can definitely relate on moving from, you know, the nest egg, or moving from the nest, moving from home. You know, obviously I grew up in Houston. I moved to Austin for, you know, 2, 3 years, kind of
Mhm.
became, you know, helped my growth as a man out there. And then obviously I came to Toronto now. And so I understand it, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the leaving what you're comfortable to go somewhere else and basically kind of sort of start over. Obviously you keep using the connections that you have and in the industry that you're in, or whatever the case may be, but there is a sense of uncertainty but also excitement, especially like obviously the type of person you are. You're an entrepreneur, you're a hunter, you're a winner, and like winners kind of want to go after those challenges. So I understand it, man.
Yeah,
From your perspective, you know, moving to a new land. So with that in mind, no family over there, no nothing, just you and a dream.
bro. I'm telling you, I came out here in Dallas, and I only had one connection. It was one of my boys that used to be in Canada, and he moved out here. I think it was back in about 2014, 2015. He's been out here ever since. I let him know I was coming in. I was coming in. I was moving out here. He said, "Listen, come out here, and the rest is history."
Mm.
And
Gee.
ever since then, bro, I'm telling you, like in a span of 60 days to be where I'm at, it's not even heard of. You know, you have a whole group of people that's supporting you in a whole different city. You know, from brothers. You know, big shout outs to Sam. You know, big shout outs to Carmel. All these people that are around me. You know, that literally I've met down here.
Mm.
And everything just clicked. And you know, one thing about me is I've always been able to, no matter where I am in terms of my environment, I've always been able to click with the right people. I've always been able to make those connections. I think connections are extremely important in any and every environment that you go into, you know. So that was the same strategy, the same type of strategy that I came in with. You know, I don't know anyone, I don't know anything about the city, but let me ask questions, let me connect, let me, you know, there's no dumb question. And that's what it's been like for the last 60 days. And I'm telling you, like, you know, from having a roof, you know, being under a roof, to having all these connections, not only in the fashion industry, but, you know, even in the music industry, because you guys know that, you know, I play keys, to everything else. Like, it's just been so smooth and flawless. It's crazy, man.
But yeah, man, I can definitely attest to that, especially just with the aura that emits from you, bro. You're first of all, you have a very inviting personality. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Especially our interaction, the way it began, it just started from fashion. You know what I'm saying? My boy
Real.
was pulling up in some shirt with some kind of wicked print on it. Yeah,
Bro,
you
they
know.
try to send me home, man. They wasn't used to that. They try to send me home.
I know
Yeah,
they tried to do the same to Daryl a
you
few
were too
times.
fly. You were too fly. But yeah,
Um,
so like I was just alluding to, man,
He's like, yeah,
you're
go
just
ahead.
you're so inviting, and also you were able to we were able to work together from that, right? You were able to get me to do a shoot and to do that beautiful editorial shot with on Sarita, right?
yeah.
So like just our interaction just began simply from something that we had in common. You know what I'm saying? And with you, you're very approachable, so you can relate to a lot of people,
Mhm.
right? So you moving out there, so I know that's why there isn't any doubt in my mind, that will be difficult for you. You know what I'm saying? So especially to where you're at right now, it's all an attestment to your personality. You're a go getter. Right? So whatever it is that you want as an entrepreneur, you get it, man. That's
Mhm.
ever since I've known you, you've always been an individual. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. You know, I'm just like, yo, it's about damn time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
That's
And
amazing, bro.
it's crazy, you know, it's crazy like you said, because you look at it, and it's even bigger for me in the sense where, you know, you look at celebrities, you look at all these people that make these
Mhm.
moves, it's like you don't really relate to them like that. You know, you know
100%.
them, you see them and stuff, but you don't have that personal connection with those guys. But then when it's like you see someone that you know personally
100%.
make that leap, make that jump,
Trust me.
it's like, you know what, yo, I can do that too. Like, what's stopping me? If he was able to do that, and he's striving, he's doing, you know, amazing. What's stopping me from doing that as well? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So that's the biggest thing that I take pride for, and like just being able to continue to, in everything that I do, right? Continue to just inspire people in various different types of ways, man.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
So do you miss? So what do you miss the most from Toronto?
That's what I was gonna say the same thing.
And honestly, I think what I miss the most, you know, Dallas and Toronto, two complete different dynamics.
100%.
Toronto is, you know, when you talk about Toronto being one of those multicultural cities,
Mhm.
it really is one of those multicultural cities. Like, you
Definitely.
really
Definitely.
truthfully feel it,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
I remember a quick story. Like, I first got here, you know, in Toronto, we'd be bumping all them Afro beats and stuff like that. Out here, it's just foreign. It's like, what?
Jeez.
It's like Chinese to them. It's like, wow.
Jeez.
You know,
That's
so you
that's
bump,
true. I can attest to that, man.
you know, you be bumping to people, you be bumping that, and they're like, "What is that?" You know, like, what are you listening to? You know, so I think like just the aura, the energy of like Toronto, you know,
Mm.
like the multicultural aspect. That's what I miss the most.
Mm.
You know, and
100%.
it's not just like in the fashion environment, but it's like literally everywhere, even on roads. You know,
Mhm.
even on roads, it's like it doesn't matter who you are. You know, it's like you guys know you guys are all one big family at the end of the day. You know,
Mhm.
but it's very different out here. That's what I miss the most. You know, other than that, of course, you know, I miss family. I miss friends. You know, everyone that you know is currently, you know, back home. I miss all of them tremendously. You know, but at the same time, you know, the grind continues. They understand the why behind what I'm doing, and I think that's what keeps me going. That's the
Mhm.
most important thing.
Yeah.
How have things been out there with COVID and stuff in regards to your business?
Bro, COVID, I think COVID is just it's it's a pain in everyone's, you know, butt.
Mm.
It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in Canada, whether you're, and I think even out here it's even worse because we really take healthcare for granted, bro.
Mm.
These guys don't got
100%.
healthcare. Like, yo, we really be talking about health. These guys don't have healthcare like that.
That's crazy.
You know, so even to like literally go in and do these tests and get checked, you pay to do all of that, as
Mhm.
opposed to, you know, in Toronto and Canada where, you know, that's a given. You got your health card and you just be walking in there and poof,
Mhm.
that's that. You
Mhm.
know,
Taken care of.
so in terms of like even just business, like it's been very tough, I would say, but at the same time, you know, the opportunities are still there. You know,
Mhm.
it's not one of those where you might be compromised at the moment, but it's one of those where you use this time while you're compromised on one side to just build those connections and have those opportunities ready for whenever things you know, move in a completely different direction. Out here, it's everything is pretty much, you know, open. It's not like back home where everything is closed down. You know,
Mhm.
That's crazy.
everything's open.
Wow.
Everyone's just wearing their masks, doing what they got to do. But other than that, that's pretty much what it's been. COVID's just been, you know, affecting everyone and anyone in
Mhm.
the same way, man.
It's wild, bro. Yeah, it's a different world out there, man. Obviously, you see firsthand now that you're there, right?
Uh,
Yeah, man. Sorry, I had to step away for a second too. I'm a freaking dog. Life with a puppy. But yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Like even with COVID, obviously, I actually went, back to Houston for a couple months, man, to go. I had to be with my mom for a little bit,
mhm.
and just the whole thing with COVID there versus here is it's a jungle out there, bro. I mean, to say the least.
It's crazy.
Yeah, man, definitely. But obviously, to kind of keep the the conversation going, I know the topic you wanted to talk about is basically buying black from black owned business, buying from basically minority business. Speak on that, bro, because I know Jordan's got some statistics. Obviously, I grew up in the States, so I've seen firsthand how it could be, especially when it comes to the color of your skin and the discrimination that can happen behind that. But definitely, bro, what because I remember we've obviously been talking for since last week that this is a topic that you wanted to talk about. So get us started with it, bro. Like, what is it exactly that you kind of want to bring to the forefront? Why do you feel that's important, especially during this time? I kind of just want to kind of open up the mic on the topic to you, man, and we'll kind of roll off from there.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, first off, thank you for once again having me on this. This has been
Sure.
a topic that I've been having, like, it's been in my heart for, I'd say, probably over 2 weeks. All started leading up to Black Friday and whatnot. Just thinking about the numerous different businesses that have been closed down because of COVID, the numerous small businesses that are being affected because of COVID. A lot of these businesses, if you notice, a lot of these businesses are Black-owned businesses, right? You think, and you look at it, and it's like, we've made tremendous progress, as Black people, as a whole. Like, I don't recall seeing this many small-owned businesses. I don't recall seeing this much Black-owned businesses. So you look at it. I looked at a crazy statistic, and it was like something along the lines of, like, you look at Amazon, you look at Walmart, and these guys tripled their dollars worth during COVID.
Yeah, dude.
But then in the meanwhile, you're looking at all these Black-owned businesses. You look at all these small businesses,
Yep.
and they're all closing down and whatnot.
Well, it's interesting.
So-
Just to throw a stat out there that I was reading too, and 41% of Black-owned businesses, which is 440,000 enterprises, were affected and destroyed by COVID-19, compared to 17% of white-owned businesses.
That's crazy.
What was it? 17?
17.
Wow, that's a huge
That's crazy.
discrepancy,
Crazy.
man.
It's crazy.
1%. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So you look at the number in itself, and it's like, how could you not stress the importance of supporting and buying Black? Like, how? Like, it's like we finally cracked a level that we couldn't crack. We cracked a barrier that we couldn't crack ever before, and it's like, now that we've cracked that barrier, more than ever, we need to support each other. There's a saying that always says we are what we've got. We are all we've got. So you just look at COVID, you look at everything that's going on, and it's like, even for me personally, I was so happy, bro. I was so happy that I was seeing people purchasing from other small businesses, purchasing from other Black-owned businesses in priority over what we would regularly be purchasing from. And that just shows that it's a step in the right direction. But at the same time, let's not take our foot off the gas. Let's keep it pushing, let's keep it moving, and let's keep stressing the importance, because that's the only way that we gonna grow. That's the only way that we gonna take ownership of other businesses, and just get more opportunities off of what we have, right? It all starts with small things before it gets to the big things, right? So that's where my heart was at in all of that.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I think, yeah, especially for me, man, just kind of speak on the whole thing, especially with COVID. And it's crazy how I was talking to another work buddy today, and we were talking about just how, like you mentioned before, Amazon, Walmart, just a lot of these retailers, man, COVID happened in, what was it? I think March is, I think, when it first happened. And basically you see all these stocks start dropping like crazy. But then you see all of a sudden, companies being purchased by other companies, and these mega corporations, man, overnight became even more mega. Like, I think, what was this? Bezos took his wealth to like another level, all because of And some people might look at it two different ways, right? Some people are like, well, Jeff Bezos, it's not like Amazon started last week. Jeff Bezos have been in position to take advantage of a business of a catastrophe that COVID has been for a long time. Which, to a certain extent, I agree. Don't get me wrong. We're like, obviously, in a world where you can't go nowhere and all you can online shop, and this guy has the biggest online shop in the whole world, of course he's going to do well. But then the other side of it too is I was questioning. I was like, and not to be all conspiracy theorists, but I was questioning. I was like, man, sometimes I try to think about this COVID situation, and like it's crazy how it happens, and I'm sometimes very curious on like why is it that it's events like this that keep creating such a wealth gap, you know what I'm saying, between the mega wealthy versus the like the normal middle class, you know what I'm saying? Then obviously we got these businesses that go under, and it's like, man, and how are you supposed to try to support local business, whether black owned, minority, whatever, when one, they're being closed down, two, they can't ship your product for free. It's just, man, I just, there's got to be some kind of happy medium where I want you guys, I will throw it out there. Obviously we'll get Mota back on in a second, but I'll throw it out there. Like, what do you guys think is like a something that we can do as people to try to keep these small businesses alive, especially during a time that's just, it just seems like it's there's so much stacked against, that business, that person, like the barbershop or the chick that has, something where she builds by hand, whether it's jewelry, stuff like that. Like they can't compete, man. Like, what do you guys think is a viable thing that we can do as people? Because especially right now, everybody's spending all their money. Retailers are making their yearly quotas right now. I know even for me, what I did is I'm purposely looking at ways that I can purchase from small business, especially minority business. Even for me, I took it a step further. I really want to buy a lot of Canadian business this year. And I've been looking at different ways, how can I find their shops, things. I think Amazon has like a little tab where you can go on to shop local, shop Canadian. But what do you guys think, man? What do you guys think are some viable things that people can do during these the holidays to try to keep buying, to try to support the local and colored business that's out there, man? What do you guys think?
In my head,
research,
the best thing is just to continuously buy from, like you were trying to do, small businesses, minority type businesses. And obviously there's also that donation factor. A lot of places are asking to donate to small businesses. You can also donate to that. How much of it goes to the minority, I don't know, because from my readings, they have a tough time going through small businesses, right? Like you said, a lot of them are closed. They have they have a tougher time getting loans from the banks. I even read in the States, they have this thing called the PPP program, which is designed to help people, small businesses, pay their rent, mortgage, this, that, and the next. And 95% of black owned and 91% of Hispanic owned companies had no chance of getting it at all.
Wow.
So the best thing you can do is try and support them in any way possible. And I think that's just by buying from them continuously and donating in any way you can.
Yeah.
You also on top of
that know that it's going to a minority place, because and to me, yes, to help all small businesses, it makes sense. It's good. But I think it's even better to know that they're getting some, right?
Yeah.
Like the minority small businesses are getting a piece of this pie, because we don't know that.
Yeah,
we don't
but
know
if we buy directly from them, you already
then
know.
You're helping them out, right?
Yeah.
Also, on top of that, I think we just need to educate the people a little bit more, especially minority-owned, about minority-owned businesses around us, just locally, because we're like most people, instead of actually going to like, because there's some around the corner of my house, I never knew there was an African grocery store. You know what I'm saying? So like now, some of the stuff that I would usually get from like Farm Boy or other supermarkets, I rather just go there and just grab my little fruits and veggies there, because I know I'm supporting one of my people. You know what I'm saying? And also I'm helping them propel that business. You know what I'm saying? Because I know right now is a very tough time. So I know if I can put money, if I can spend money there than Walmart or anywhere else, I know I'm doing my job to support my people. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing. I never noticed that location until I just took a wrong turn one day. I was like, oh shit, I never knew she was right there, right? So I think we just need to educate ourselves, do research, and just to find out just local minority-owned businesses around us, instead of, you know what I'm saying, instead of actually let's say looking for businesses outside of our realm. So just start local and then start expanding your horizons.
I love that, bro.
I also I did a lot of reading about this too, and like something else that I read was that a lot of these minority businesses, the small businesses that are still affected from the economic collapse back in 2007 to 2009 that they had, and they're still recovering from that collapse, right? So for this to happen to them, and apparently 60% of businesses, minority small businesses, closed then too. So they were at like a 31% increase going into 2017, and now this happened. So it's just going to set them back a lot further than where they were because they're still trying to recover.
Mm. That's crazy, bro. And I remember when we were. It's funny because I don't remember. If you, I know I don't know if you remember, Jordan, but I think remember because oh yeah, because we were talking about it. Remember those that brand Emlo shoes that I bought, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And obviously, I understand like the Emlo shoes, like the shoes themselves are probably some kind of like mass produced, because I've seen like some other little clothing brands that have like the same style shoe. But what navigated me towards buying that same shoe from Emlo though was because it's owned by 4 minority owners.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then I remember doing a post about it saying like, hey man, like all of the apparel that I want to buy moving forward. And I think this was like, fuck, I don't even, what months was it? Like maybe 3-4 months ago. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I did an Instagram post about it, and I was like, you know what? Because it was around, especially the time what happened with George Floyd, man, because that shit really affected me like
Mm-hmm.
hardcore, man. Like
Shit
that
was fucked.
affected me so much. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, obviously, I loved seeing everything that was happening on Instagram and people sharing, people posting Blackout Tuesday, just all the different things. Whether obviously getting like the some other shit aside, like politically, but like the fact that there were so many people actually trying to speak out in the little that they did, and most people, that's the way they can speak out nowadays is by their social media, right? And I remember thinking about it over and over again. I was like, dude, what can I do to do my part? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I can keep posting, and yeah, I can keep on, sharing, and I'm not saying that that's not going anywhere, because I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from doing that, because you have to keep sharing to keep the conversation moving, right?
Right.
But what I'm trying to say is I wanted to do something more tangible. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there's got to be something else I can do. Like I'm not much of a protester. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I wouldn't, but that's not. I don't go out and protest. That's not something that I do. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to be able to do something else. So then I remember just finally I was like, yo, I need a new pair of kicks. And I was, I know me, I'll wear Nikes or whatever. And then I was like, yo, you know what? I should maybe buy some kicks from. It didn't matter to me whether they were Nikes or not, but just buy it from a minority-owned retailer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept getting these damn ads and shit because Instagram, Big Brother be watching us and shit. So I started getting these ads, right? Because I started searching, I guess, and I started getting these ads, and I see these Emlo shoes pop up, and I was like, yo, these shoes are kind of fly. You know what I mean? Obviously, they don't have no big name brand like Nike Check or a fucking Jordan
They are
symbol on
dope
it.
shoes, though. They are.
Yeah.
I like them.
So I click on the
Yeah.
fucking Instagram ad, and I'm like, yo, check it out. So I click on the ad. I was like, all right, cool. Shoes are pretty cool, whatever. Then I was like, read the about us. So I click on the about us. I was like, it was like 4, blah, blah. He started during the pandemic, 4 minority owned business owners. One of them, which is the first Black female entrepreneur to be featured on like the Forbes 30 and the 30. And I was like, yo, I can get behind this. And then every one of a piece of their sales goes to like the COVID relief and shit.
Mm.
And whether it's a cent or 10%, it didn't matter. I was like, everything I read, I was like, yo, I like this. I'm gonna go ahead and buy me some shoes. So I bought the shoes. I think they were like just under $100, which is whatever. And then I remember they finally shipped to me because I think they came from China, but whatever. I got them like a month later. Rocked them. I still rock them to this day. They're mega comfortable. I followed them on Twitter. I follow them on Instagram. They're sending me a free pair of shoes now because I won like a Twitter giveaway. So it's just shit like that I feel like we can do. But my whole point of this story, y'all, was I remember struggling to find Black-owned business, dude, and Hispanic business. Like I was struggling, dude. I was like, I Google searched, I did all these different things, and I was like, why can't I just find a directory of like, yo, here is every business around you that is owned by a minority. Tell me why that information I literally couldn't find, and I had to pretty much like get an Instagram ad to really help me, man.
100%. Even when I was trying to find some information on just like reading up on this stuff, there wasn't a ton out there. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't understand why there's not. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So Mota, what do you think, bro? Because I mean, the whole question was like, man, what do you think we can do that's more tangible to start supporting minority and Black-owned business out there, bro? Like, what are kind of like some ideas you would have, or what have you been doing per se? Hey, Mota, can you hear me?
On the money in terms of like.
Oh, there you are.
Yep, I can hear you. I can hear
okay,
you.
Cool.
Clear. Listen, you guys been on the money in terms of how to go about supporting, and I'm just gonna add to it. It all starts with a mentality shift, right? So the second that you can think about anything from just groceries, right, to clothes, before thinking about a Walmart or thinking about like no frills or some, think about, can you find that at a black owned place? You know, try to see if there's any black directories. Try and do your research, kind of like what Jordan mentioned, right? Doing research is extremely important. I know for me personally, I've taken the time to look into these black owned businesses, whether it's especially for me as a stylist, from designers to people that make accessories to people that do hair to people that do makeup to you know all those type of people, just taking the time to actually research and see if you're able to find black people that do the same things that other ethnicities do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been the biggest thing for me, and that's what's opened so not only opportunities for me, but opportunities for others. Especially for this podcast and each and every single one of us individually. You don't know the impact that you could have and the doors that you can open because of who you encounter and how you interact with
Mm-hmm.
those people, right? So it's very, very important to not take any interaction for granted. Always ask questions, do your research, and if you know something, share it. Right? Share it.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing is key. That's why you're seeing a lot of business owners that are on Instagram and stuff like that. So you want to encourage these owners, take it a step further, make a website. You know, um, do you have a line where we can reach you? Just the minimal things that is going to allow these businesses to get more exposure, because that's what a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these people need, right? Exposure.
That's what
There's a
it
lot of
is,
people
bro.
that have businesses and they're not out there because there's a lack of exposure, there's a lack of information. Some people feel like it's too saturated to be in the same industry or environment, and I just want to tell someone that that's not the case. you
Mm-hmm.
know so for me personally, that's what it's been all about. Not only this year, I think Durrel can attest to that. That in a lot of the things that I do, I like to include Black people in terms of like everything that I do, and in terms of if there's any information or anyone that's looking for anything, because of the connections that I've been able to do or make, I'm able to redirect, right? And that's what it comes down to. Again, like, we are all that we got. So if you have information, if you have valuable resources that you can provide to another, share it, man.
Yeah,
Share
I
it.
agree, man. I think that's the biggest one too, is the sharing, man. Because like, man, as people, we are so active on social media, man, between
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. But the one thing that I definitely noticed is that, with a lot of these small businesses, especially minority business, man, is that they don't have the reach that, like, say, a Walmart, an Amazon, or all these companies that advertise hardcore, that have advertising budgets, right? But I think one thing that we do have as a community, especially like, dude, like, especially to me, like the Black community and the Hispanic community, especially even like to really niche down even more, the Mexican community for sure. Like, as far as like on my ethnicity, man, we have such a tight knit community, but for whatever reason, we don't seem to like, it doesn't seem to come into fruition for us. You know what I'm saying? We don't seem to know how to cash in on it. And I don't mean that in a selfish way, as in, what I'm trying to say is like, how do we possibly gain, or how do we beat, like, say, the Instagram algorithm and all that bullshit, right? Is basically by, like what Mota said. I think if, like you said, you find somebody that like, yo, this shit, I've got this like dope accessory or whatever from, this, minority owned business down the street. Instagram, share it. Fucking, put it on your Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Text it to your homies, like, hey, you remember you were saying the other day you were looking for some shit, something cool, something different for your girl? Because I was actually, that's kind of what got my search going again, is I'm trying to find something cool, something different as a gift for my girl. Because obviously she gave me her list on Amazon, and it's like, normal shit. But I want to do something different, and she appreciates that kind of stuff. And I've run into all kinds of different minority owned business, man, especially with like jewelry. Because she loves jewelry, but like, if I'm gonna go spend, a decent chunk on a piece of jewelry, I think I'd get, one, I think it'll go a long way buying a piece of handcrafted jewelry from like a minority owned business owner that is not just some huge corporation like a People's or whatever, but they do it by hand, they do it by passion. Yeah, they might not be making a shit ton of money, but you know that person has their love behind what they're doing. You know they're going to back their product up, and then you share that. And I think just little things like that, man, for me, what I'm learning is that goes a long way. And to just kind of finish my rant behind that, another thing I remember telling Durrel months ago, I was like, man, I would love for our podcast, because obviously our podcast, what I love about it is so free form, it's so open. We pretty much talk about anybody. Hell, we did a whole series in November about sex. You know what I mean? And now here we're doing, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And now we're talking about, buying from Black-owned business and minorities, right? And small business, right? And I think what I was trying to tell Durrel, I was telling Durrel a couple months ago, I was like, dude, how good would it be that we can turn Third Dimension Podcast as a hub specifically for like basically our people, man, like our people. And this is not a slight. I don't mean this as a slight to white folks at all. Hell, my girl's white, man. But one thing that I do know is that we don't have enough representation, man. Like in my humble opinion, I think, yeah, like we have some good examples here and there. Like obviously we had Barack for a little bit, but beyond that though, man, especially during this Trump era, I don't think we're represented well, bros. I mean, obviously, you guys let me know if you think you disagree, but I think we're still underrepresented. I think in podcast and business, yeah, we got Dame John, but that's it. You know what I mean? Like I got George Lopez, but like who else we really got? Like as far as especially local, you know what I'm saying? That's why Mota, I'm so proud of and excited of what you're doing because of the following that you have and that you pushing it forward and keeping the conversation going. And I love how close and tight knit you are with the Black community and how you're for it. It's beautiful to me, bro. But we need more Motas. You know what I mean? We need more Darrels. We need more us. And it's like that's what I want. Eventually, even Third Dimension Podcast to be that when we do get an entrepreneur on here, we got enough white entrepreneurs on podcasts everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That are doing really well, but we don't have enough outside of that. You know what I'm saying? That speak our language. That speak my slang that I can relate to. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's kind of like my rant on it, man. Is that like I just, man, as long as I've been alive, I want to keep supporting, and I always will. But I always feel like there's got to be a better solution for us, man. As far as what we can do to keep supporting each other. You know what I mean?
100%. I completely agree with you guys, man. How we need to share our experience with a Black-owned business. Right, so even myself, I can definitely attest to this. So my sister's birthday was back November 20th.
You know what I'm saying?
November 20th. So she loves cosmetics, right? But then I was thinking where I was going to get her some cosmetics. I was like shopping around, and I realized, hold on, wait a minute. One of my homegirls, Rianne, she has her own cosmetics line, right? So I'm just like, hold on, before I shop anywhere else, let me consult with her and see exactly what I can get from her. You know what I'm saying? And then she made this beautiful gift set for my sister. And I would have paid whatever she would have asked, right? Just because of the presentation and just the thoughts and love that was put into her creation. You know what I'm saying? And she worked hard for that. You know what I mean? So for me to really experience that moment of joy and excitement, emitting from one of my own, I rather do that 10 times over, right? So right then and there. So sometimes we just need to just reiterate and just figure out exactly like who's right next to us that has a minority-owned business, right? Like our boy Menelik, right? This guy is a tutor. He's an African American tutor, right? So that's a minority-owned business right there. So there's so many different avenues that we can take to find minority-owned businesses, but we just really need to open our eyes.
And an author too, bro. His book is popping.
That's dope. I didn't know that. That's dope.
Oh yeah,
wrote a book.
Mike, beautiful book, man. One of the most suspenseful books I've read in a minute, man. It was a really good book. So if you guys are out there listening right now, Silent Mick by Menelik Luke, definitely check it out.
Yeah, 100, bro. But yeah, see, it's things like that, and you said it right, bro. Mota, I want you to speak on it too, man. But like, I get the feeling that first time you spend money that's like going towards, your own people or just something you believe in, that it's very, very it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a thrill. It's a thrill, right? You're like, yo, like my money went to like not Walmart, not Nike, not Jordan. It went to like a local business, and I helped put some food on her plate or on her kids' plates, or you know what I'm saying? Like, Mota, what do you think about that, bro? Like, how's you know what I'm saying? Like when was your first experience of like, buying local, or kind of give us like a life experience like that? Like, how you feel about it, bro?
I ain't even hear that last part, man. Y'all, you were chipping in and out.
No worries, bro. Basically, I'm just saying that because Durrel was saying that like he got like a good feeling, like a thrill when he bought from his homegirl, being that she owns a business, small business, she's minority, and it felt
Mhm.
good to him because he was like, "Yo, my money is going towards my own people." Like it wasn't a big brand,
Yeah.
it wasn't like Nike, Jordan, whatever, and it was like a thrilling feeling. I've had that feeling before too. So seeing what's it kind of like with you, man, when you make those purchases or whatever the case may be with like with like Black minority owned business owners that you know what I mean?
It's the best feeling in the world. Like
Mm.
it's like a whole different like tie. Like you take these pieces, you take these items, like personally, it's like,
One
you
hundred
know,
percent.
it's almost like you know the people that you purchase these items for. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's completely, like how, for example, with Jordans, we buy Jordans. There's that certain level of attachment that comes with like Jordans and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
like when you buy from like these black owned companies, and it's like it's there's that type of attachment that comes along with it that you truly appreciate, and it's almost like you feel like the every single dollar you spent was worth it.
Was
You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So like I take a lot of pride whenever, not only in terms of like as a stylist, when I'm getting people to work these gigs and paying them for their work. I've been a big advocate for paying people for their work in full. Paying businesses in full. Never going in with the expectation of you want a discount. Like everyone's working hard, everyone is trying to pay bills, everyone has all of that good
they
stuff
needed just as much
going
to
on.
do.
yeah,
Exactly.
100%.
So it's it's I take pride in all of that, and I try to make sure that whenever I purchase from a black owned person, I let them know that I appreciate them, I appreciate their item, the small little things, the little customer service stuff that we neglect. It goes the extra mile for these
Mhm.
hmm
businesses, and I also even want to encourage people. If you have, for example, I do bump into instances where people come to me and tell me, "Hey, Mota, the reason why I don't buy from this black owned person or that is because of the experience that I got from them, or I reached out to them in the DMs or something like that, and they took too long to answer and whatnot." You know, I tell them, have you taken the time to provide that feedback to these people? Because
hmm
every business needs the feedback. How do you expect these businesses to go in the right direction if they don't have this type of feedback? I think
hmm
sometimes we just get comfortable with the good feedback, that we almost forget that like you have to take into account the good and the bad, and with the bad you improve to become better, right?
hmm
So in terms of that, that's pretty much like where my mind is at whenever I deal with any black owned businesses. If they do amazing, if I buy something, I always thank them. I show appreciation for them. I'll share it on my socials.
Mhm.
I'll rock it with pride. If it's
hmm
clothing or whatnot. And if I do have a bad experience, I just have that conversation with them, because at the end of the day, that's the only way that they can improve and get better, right?
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
because I can because I remember back in the summer, right, just before the pandemic really took over Toronto. With my boy Spencer and I, we were just walking down Toronto. We were looking to get something to eat. So then he mentioned, let's go to this restaurant called King Taps. I was like, yo, bro, nah, fam, let's just chill around here and see what we can get. Just what we can get locally, right? So
hmm
then we're just walking around. So we're just walking around, and then there was a Jamaican restaurant right there, right? It was a Caribbean restaurant. So we just pulled in. Unfortunately, I must say that had to be one of the worst experiences I've ever had at a restaurant in my life, bro. Right? So pretty much, I went to order. It's just the service, just the customer service at the time was just terrible, right?
hmm
So and then I felt like I was rushed. My order wasn't prepared on time and everything like that, right? So let's just say that was my first experience from a minority owned business that that is going to leave a bitter taste in your mouth, right? Especially trying to support these businesses, and then you get in service, and then you get customer service like that, right? So that will kind of like deter you from proceeding. You know what I'm saying? Just, but I just think for ourselves as a community, we need to at least from the business side also need to improve as businesses, right? Improve our customer service skills and
But to what Mota said, though, if people don't tell them, they won't know. So
I know.
giving that feedback is only going to help these businesses improve themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but sometimes
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you, and it's funny because like what I was
Mhm.
thinking about too is that like why is it that like say and you're Milton's so right like oh somebody's like nah yo I hit so and so up he didn't give me a discount you know we and he's supposed to because we both from the same nationality
Mm.
or yo you know what he took forever that shit was whack but like imagine if it was like say like a Walmart or Amazon you'd be the first motherfucker to complain when something don't go your way.
Exactly.
But so why is it that the culture is okay to like complain to some like billionaire white business, but then like you know when it's your own community and you're like, yo, I'm trying to give you some money, I would kind of complain too, like, buddy, like I'm trying to buy something from you, you're not appeasing
Mhm.
me. Like that's a I feel like we'd have an even closer conversation.
Mhm.
So it's like why the disconnect, y'all? Like why do you think we have this like disconnect within each other in business? Because I always find like even a homie of mine back home, he's got an amazing successful business too, but he said the one thing that's tough for him is that he's like, man, my own black folks be asking me to do shit cheaper, and I'm like, nah, bro, like
Mhm.
I can't, I don't work for free. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Why is it that we are like that with each other? But we ain't never trying to tell Amazon like, yo, Amazon, give me that shit for free. I've been with you for 5 years. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But we trying to do that with each other though. You know what I'm saying?
We all go
That's
back.
it's an very interesting point.
You feel like we're all homeboys. You give the homeboy a discount. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I've known you. I've known you since day one, so I get that day one discount. It doesn't
Mm.
work like that. And at the end of the
Mhm.
day, this is my business. This is my survival. This is my livelihood.
Mhm.
So if I'm giving you a discount, I'm discounting myself at my own success.
Yes. How are you ever going to beat Amazon by giving everyone
If
discounts?
you're always giving
You
everyone
know?
discounts, let's just say you have
Mm.
10 customers, but that's 10 of your closest friends always asking you for a discount. You're always giving
Mhm.
a discount. Then you're at a loss. Continue,
Mhm.
Yeah,
right?
for
So,
sure. And Mota, like obviously with the business you run, man, have like do you run into that where people are like asking you for discounts and stuff? Like how do you go about that, bro?
Bro, it's all about transparency. You deal with it each and every single day. I've been through it since I started, and it happens till this day. I
Mm.
think the thing that's really allowed me to keep afloat and still go above and beyond is that I'm transparent in terms of what my business is about, what I do, the value of the work that I do, and in terms of the pricing. The pricing is transparent. You know that when you come into a consultation, this is what you're expecting. There's no
Mm.
ifs or buts. The small little details, for example, laying out prices as opposed to DM me for pricing. It makes it's a big difference between those two things. So it's a lot of small things that could be fixed, right? And when you fix those things, you'll realize that you will cater to a certain audience. You will cater to a specific group of people. And once you start catering to that specific group of people, you're never going to lack. You're never going to lack. You're going to realize, for example, you go on Amazon, you buy something, it's $50, whatever, right? If I have the same thing for $70, it doesn't make that item any worse than the item that I have. The service aspect. You have to look at the overall picture. What am I giving along with that item?
Mhm.
What's coming along with that item? And that's what goes over a lot of people's heads, right? But you have to keep in mind that it's not always the customer's fault. Us as business owners, us as entrepreneurs, we need to set the tone and make it clear. If we don't set the tone and we make it clear and we're shaking on what we do, that's going to translate in the business aspect of things. That's going to translate in terms of even like just the spending and all that comes along with that,
Mm.
right? So it all comes down to just a lot of the small details. And I've been very, very fortunate. I've been on the end where I would be doing work and people will be asking me for discounts, discounts, discounts. But it comes a time where you've grasped, you've gotten enough experience to be like, this is how much I'm worth, and I'm going to stick to that, you know.
Mhm.
And that's where I think a lot of entrepreneurs have a lot of trouble kind of navigating, especially in the first 1 to 3 years of business, and that's why some of them close down, or some of them just don't pan out, right?
Yeah.
But that's also the same thing where it's like, if you really get through the trenches of those 1 to 3 years, everything becomes so much more easier for you.
Yeah.
So I've been fortunate.
100%, man. But I think too, and just kind of like in between the lines, but obviously correct me if I'm wrong. Just the silver lining is that I think what you're saying is that you present the product, and this is the product. Like the level of professionalism that I see with your brand, man, it's through the roof, man. Like your website, your like your Instagram page, like it's so professional. You know what I mean? That of course you're right. I think the type of people you attract, you're not attracting somebody coming in like, yo, I'm gonna see if this brother give me a discount. No, it's like you're attracting like, yeah, wait a minute, man. This is high level stuff. So I want this service. You know what I mean? Another thing I want you to speak on too, because I really want you to take this opportunity to almost, because like obviously, the topic is behind, buying black, but you are a black business owner, man, successful at that. So what would you say, like, are some tips you can give other black entrepreneurs to navigate through COVID, navigate, because you've actually had growth through 2020, man. A lot of
Yeah.
people can't say that, man, which is amazing, but that's a testament to who you are and obviously what you do and how good you are at what you do. But what are like some tips you can give people, especially like you're like, hey, like to all my black business owners out there, here's what you can do in 2020 to navigate, to grow your business. Like what's kind of top of mind, man, that you can kind of give out to the world?
I think the two biggest things for me have been, one, to be able to listen, right? So less talking and more listening, listening to the environment, listening to everything that's going on around me, from a business perspective, from a fashion perspective, and taking note of that, and then being able to pivot. So in the midst of COVID, when COVID really struck, I think it was back in March, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Going into 2020, I knew that I was going to have a big year. I was scheduled to do a couple style weddings abroad. So there's a lot of things that were planned out, and once March hit, COVID hit. All of that got pretty much thrown out the window, suspended. But one thing that I was able to do was pivot quickly, right? So not settling for what was transpiring, but seeing how can I be productive in the midst of that, and that led to me trying to look for other connections, me trying to broaden my network, meeting new people, especially on the socials, because that's where the hub pretty much was. We're all stuck at home. But that doesn't mean that we're not all on our phones. That doesn't mean that we're not all on our computers. So understanding that we're all on our phones, all on our computers, I went ahead, continue to do my research. What can I fine tune in terms of my business, that once things open back up, it's almost like you kind of rebranded yourself, but you didn't really rebrand. You just pretty much fine tuned, right? So for me, it went to this, like, it was the small things, just adjusting, tweaking the pricing of what I had in terms of my services, focusing more on customer service, and making my voice heard, showing face to different Zooms and different IG lives, being a part of like different podcasts, talking to different people and acquiring knowledge. Once you put all of that together, that pretty much is what tallies up to pivoting, right, and being able to adjust. So I think that's been the biggest keys for me. And what can I encourage people to do, is, again, be an active listener. Be mindful of your environment. Do not be afraid to connect and ask questions, and also just go and be great. Go and be great. Everyone's all on we're on the same playing field right now, right? COVID has all of us like in uncertainty right now, so it's about what are you going to do about it. That's what it really comes down to. This is where we really see who are the go-getters and who are the ones that are just just kicking back waiting for things to happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fire. That's fire, bro. Dude, I couldn't agree with you anymore, man. It's to the fact when you like everybody's on the same level. That's so true. Like COVID and everything. Even just man before COVID, like social media, the power of social media, and even if you did want to do paid ads on Facebook, Instagram, things like that, the price that you pay for that compared to your typical radio and commercial, bro, it really does even the playing field, man. I mean, the fact that we still can find small Black and Hispanic owned businesses just by chilling at your crib, going through an Instagram page, and dude, I get ads all the time, and it's funny because most people are like, "Oh, I hate ads." I love them because I want to be able to discover small business, and I find it's small business that's on the socials, man. And yeah, I'm with you, bro. And then another thing I remember seeing the things that you were doing. And I remember you got, I think it was, I don't know if it was CTV, but I remember you got like on TV in Toronto. I forgot the name of like that collective, like the group, but tell us more about that, man. Like, how did that opportunity go? What exactly was it about? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so I know I had the opportunity. It was actually twice I got the opportunity to be on TV with Black Men Style,
That's
and
what it was. Black Men Style.
there
Yes.
was also the Kings and Queens movement. More specifically with Black Men Style, big shout outs to the founder Samuel Tita. He's the one that spearheads the movement. I'm just the second guy behind it. But what it was, it just came down to the representation of the Black men. A lot of times you look at Black men, you think you look at the Black man, he's a thug, he's dumb, he's a cheater, he's this, he's that, But we were all about changing the narrative, So in a season where COVID had all of us in the same playing field, we use that time to personally start interacting with a lot of the Black men in our community, get their stories, see how they're doing, see what we could do to help them, build confidence in them just from just general conversations, to talking about anything and nothing. And that's pretty much what opened up the opportunity. We ended up speaking to a Black guy that we didn't even know he was working for City TV, So just off of that interaction, it's like, oh, boom, like you work for, okay, oh, I can make this. It happened in the blink of an eye, and you think about it, and it's like now. Not only is he on our side, but it's like whenever I need anything or I need to go on TV for anything that's affiliated to either myself, my brand, or Black Man Style, I have a connection, I have an outlet. But you will never be able to experiment those connections if you don't go out there and take it upon yourself to actually
100%.
connect. So that's what it's all like. That's what it's really been about. That's what this year's been for me. One of those where I was able to push beyond the barrier of COVID by connecting, networking, taking advantage of the Instagram algorithm, understanding the algorithm, and understanding that at the end of the day, the algorithm could be there, but you need to trump the algorithm. And to trump the algorithm, you need to go out there and connect with people, because the personal connection that I have with Jordan, the personal connection that I have with Durrel will always trump a like, a comment, a state, or a tag,
100%.
right? And if you understand that, that's what's going to take you to a whole different dimension.
Man, hands down, bro. Fire, man.
Yeah, so Mota, also there was also another video that you posted on your Instagram. It was pretty much it was a group, I think it was a mix between men and women, all dressed in black. I think they were either singing or dancing. I can't really remember, but can you just explain that video, or if you know the video I'm talking about?
Yeah, man. So you're right. You're talking about the Kings and Queens movement.
That shit was fire, bro.
The Kings and Queens movement. That big shout outs to another one of my brothers, Dean Samuels, Nikki Samuels. They're the founders of that movement. What it was pretty much, I was pretty much on deck as a styling director for that whole thing. And it was just about highlighting Black kings and Black queens, pretty much in a nutshell, right? You know, understanding the struggles of a Black king, understanding the struggles of a Black queen, and making people understand that Black queens and Black kings, like, you know, we are good, you know, separately, but we're a force together. And we wanted to make sure that we highlighted that. We wanted to make sure that people saw that, you know, like it's important for people to see that unity between Black kings and Black queens, especially in the midst of what had transpired with, you know, the whole George Floyd, and then you follow it up with everything that happened to Breonna Taylor. You know, you look at those situations. You had, you know, a lot of the women feeling like, you know, the Black men had betrayed them. Black men felt like, you know what, you know, we're out here, you know, it's just another day in the office, another one of us getting killed, you know. So we wanted to really just bring some light to a lot of the darkness that was happening in that stretch. That stretch between May and like August,
It's rough,
was
bro.
one of the darkest stretches this year. So, you know, to be able to be all in black, you know, when you see a whole bunch of Black people all in black, like, you know, that's a force, man. It's a force. So we just wanted to highlight that, man.
Yeah.
One thing I really loved about it is how it started with empowering the empowerment of Black men, and then transitioning over to a Black man being, well, just finding his better half, which is the Black woman, right? So just that uniformity and that unity just speaks to your character and to what you're trying to do for your community, right? So that alone, that you're pushing your brand, but then more still, you're pushing your brand, you're pushing your culture, you're pushing your people ahead. Also, you know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate that from a brother to another brother. So just seeing the growth and just seeing the vision of Exodus. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing the vision from Mota, right? So just seeing that vision, and I'm very excited just to see what the next couple of months have in store.
I'm so
Right?
excited. Like, I have so much in store for the next coming months. I've been actually working, like I said earlier at the very beginning, I've been collecting a lot of selling W's. There's a lot of good things that are coming. I'm just being very, 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 very patient. It's been hard because I'm like, I want to drop all of this, but you know, I'm being very, very patient and being timely in terms of
Patience is virtue,
what
bro.
I'm going to be dropping. But I'm so excited to share with all you guys, like, what's in store. There's so much that's cooking, so much in the oven right now. Listen, man, y'all stay tuned, man. Stay connected.
I'm excited, bro. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, bro, we all are, man. We all are for sure. Fucking yeah, man. I've told you before, you like to fly. One of the flyest dudes I know. Darrel's super fly, and then came Mota. You know what I'm
You know what
saying?
I'm saying?
Super fly too,
I
man.
thought I was
But
fine, then this
Darrel's
came into the
flies. He's a flies man, yo.
yeah, man, no doubt about it, bro. It's amazing, man. I think, you know, and it's cool too, because this is one other thing too, because I know there's so many people out there and there's documentaries out there that like social media this and like it's the boogeyman. But on the side of it too, man, like especially when you're an entrepreneur or like even with us, like us three, you know, on TDP, like it's our brand, man. It's a, you know, we use social media to grow, but we also use it to connect with so many people, right? And what I'm trying to say, man, is so cool seeing your your growth on Instagram, your reach, like the followers going higher, and the production value, the videos, and it's so cool that like we're so connected in that way. You know what I mean? And I can appreciate it when I see it happen. It's like, wow, man, like Mota's doing his damn thing. You know what I mean? And there's a few other, you know, other entrepreneurs too, man, that I follow. Same thing, man. They're Hispanic, you know, some Black from back home, Hispanic from back home, and you see their growth. Like, you know, Toby Nwigwe, I went to high school with this kid. Now he's like mega. You know what I mean? Mega, and it's inspiring, man. Instead of being down and like, oh, I wish I had that kind of success. It's the opposite, man. It's so inspiring. Be like, yo, like if somebody in my own background, like my own backyard, especially like we literally grew up in the same neighborhood. We went to the same high school, played on the same football team. Like we know the same people. I was like, yo, if my friend that can ascend to that kind of level with just hard work and consistency, why is it that we couldn't do the same thing? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like you
That's why I
said,
really
we're all on the same playing field. Anyone can do it, man. You just gotta put your mind to it. You gotta. It's a hustle. Can't be lazy. You gotta give it. You gotta go, and you just gotta have one way and go. Like you can't veer off different ways. You can't procrastinate on things. You just gotta get going.
Amen.
And keep on it.
That's it, bro. I think, you know, as far as, and obviously Mota want to finish the episode. We're getting just over an hour. But I want you to touch on it, Mota, because one thing, I guess, if I wanted to sum it up, that what I see from you is just consistency, bro.
Mm.
You are so consistent. Like it's never a day, a month, or whatever that you're not moving in the right direction. So what is it that keeps you consistent? What can you again say? Just leave a tip out there. It's like, man, the power of it. What do you do to stay consistent, and how can you help others to also get that consistency? Because to me, I think that's the secret sauce, man. But like, what do you think
Sure.
about it?
Listen, man, consistency is it's the secret ingredient. It's the secret ingredient that you know we take for granted, but it's like once you apply it, it just brings everything to a whole different dimension.
Mhm.
For me personally, when I think about consistency, I just ask myself like, what inspires me? You know what I'm saying? The Durrel inspires me. Tony, you inspire me. Jordan, you inspire me. My sisters inspire me. My friends inspire me. My environment inspires me. What can I do to be an inspiration? You know, be consistent. When you're consistent, people will pick up on that, and they're not going to give themselves an excuse because they know that they know someone that's consistent, that's been doing this, and they can refer to that person. You know, so that's what it's really been for me. You know, just acknowledging all the people that are around me that are like sources of inspiration and using that as fuel, for me to just keep going, keep pushing,
Mm.
even in the midst of like good, bad times, never give up, remain consistent, trust the process. Once you do that, everything else it's just gonna fall in place, man.
Mhm.
Whatever is yours, man.
Well, 100%, man. Mota, we really appreciate you, man. Also, like I said, I really appreciate what you're really doing out there for the community, for your people.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Just trying to get us to be united again. United we stand, divided we fall. So, the stronger that we get, who knows? The sky's the limit.
Yeah, amen to that, bro. Amen to that. But yeah, I always like to end every episode, man, with our parting words. Obviously, just our final thoughts on the show. Um, I'll start us off, man, and we'll finish with Mota. We'll just kind of do, a little. I think it's this way on the camera, whatever. Anyways, you know what I'm saying?
Clockwise, yeah, yeah.
Clockwise. But I think for me, man, like my final parting words, everybody, is that like for me, I think just going back to the original topic and just the whole deal. I think, Mota, you said it right, bro. Is anything you're about to buy, before you buy it, think, where can I get it from my own community, somebody in my own background, my own community. Like it's funny because like obviously being in Toronto, man, Mexican people, we are like a unicorn out here, bro. Like it's so rare that I meet another Mexican out here. So of
Mhm.
course it's a struggle for me to find good Mexican food that I don't have to make myself, but also in like especially in Durham where I live in Toronto, but like I'm really close to Durham or whatever. It's hard for me to find a like a Latin grocery store, bro. I finally found one. It's in Ajax, and it's this tiny ass little hole in the wall. I mean, it's tiny, bro. But I love this store. They have everything that I ever grew up with, like ingredient wise, to be able to cook the food that I grew up loving. I just ran into their Facebook page the other day, and I found out the little lady's delivering. You know what I mean? Like she's delivering groceries, yo.
That's
Which
amazing.
is amazing. So I'm like, yo, I've been trying to make me my fresh salsa that I love making, but with like the actual ingredients versus like the
Bro,
canned
this guy
shit.
makes such a bomb salsa.
Yeah, I appreciate
Bomb.
that. But man, so that's
Hate
my
the
parting
mouth.
words. I appreciate it, bro. But that's my parting words, man, is that look, especially during this holiday season, we're about to spend some money. We've all got our Christmas budgets, whatever the case may be. Not to say that every time you're gonna be 100%, buying from that black owned
Mhm.
business or that minority business. But the fact that if you really do look to try, I'm pretty sure out of 10 times you'll probably find three or four, maybe more, that like, yo, I found somebody and that's where I want to purchase from. So
Sure.
especially during this time, man, our money, I said it on the podcast that we did first time around. I was like, dude, my little bit of money, but plus your little bit of money and all of our little bit of money together, man, we're bigger than Jeff
Mhm.
Bezos and all those motherfuckers, man. Especially the colored community, man. So that's my parting words. Spend your money with somebody in your own community, bro.
I'm gonna go off of that too, and I agree. Help the small businesses, spend money in a small business, more or less. A minority small business, and it's not necessarily just buying like clothes or buying, shoes. It's also like there's like we were talking about before. There's food. There's so many different outlets that you can use to support it, and I think and anyone who's listening, whatever, try and support it in any way, shape, or form.
100%, man. Like I was alluding to earlier, that we need to do our research and just discover where we can find these local minority owned businesses, right? So like I was saying, I had a couple of minority owned business around me that I wasn't really aware of, right? So I was just thinking I was just helping out a friend, but then once you really just analyze it, you realize your homeboy, he's just you. He's my boy. Right? I don't look at him as anything else, right? But then once you start putting everything together, and you just like, yo, that we are moving at a different pace, at a different level. Let me see what I can do to assist you ascend to the top. Right. Same with my homegirl. I'm trying to do what I can do to ascend her line to the top. Whoever it is, even yourself, hopping onto the podcast. You know what I'm saying? You're pushing our brand, we're also pushing your brand. So it's like we have to give and take, right? So that's the thing. We need to assist others
Mm.
as people. We need to assist others. You know what I mean? Like sometimes,
Sure.
sometimes people always want return for assisting them, for assisting you, right? But
Mhm.
that sometimes you gotta give to get, right? So if we are just freewillingly going out there and just helping propel our brothers and our sisters businesses, who knows what might transpire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's all networking from there on. You're pushing their business and then they're pushing your brand, right? So we just have to support yourself, right? So that's the first thing. And also, like I said earlier, doing a research, all that alone would just help us as people and our minority owned businesses do a little bit better during these tough times.
Fire, bro.
I mean, just to round up pretty much, what you guys all said. It just all comes down to one thing. Every person that's going to be tuning in, I would just want you to know that your city is not what you need. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you are what your city needs. You need to understand your impact. You need to understand your dollar. You need to understand your worth. Go and impact. When you spend wisely. Do your research, ask questions, look at your skin tone, look at your skin, and ask yourself, are you giving back to your community? Giving back to your community doesn't mean that it's just about don't just donations. It's all in the little things. So buying back, buying black. I can't stress it enough. Like there's so much power in buying black,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to encourage people, you know, to keep pushing for that. Keep pushing for that, especially with the holidays coming, and not just waiting for holidays, but even like in every day, just continue to buy black. You know, that's pretty much where that my final thoughts pretty much.
I love it, bro.
And also, just one last thing, we also have to keep in thoughts of with the Hispanic markets too, man. We also gotta help their market boom also, just because they were also hit hard during COVID. I think it was a very high percentage of minority businesses that went down under since the hit of COVID. So once you're out there supporting black businesses, make sure you support the brothers and sisters right next door. So
Yeah.
just share the wealth.
Amen to that, bro. Amen to that. But cool, man. Before we get off, Mota, man, every time I appreciate your energy, appreciate your hustle, appreciate you
Sure.
jumping on the show. Before we get off, brother, again, let the world know where they can find you. What are your brands? What's the Instagram handles? Pretty much, man. Take this time to let the world know who you are and where you at.
Yeah, man, I'm not a stranger. MXODOS_. That's my Instagram. I'm a stylist. You could also catch me at Exodus Realms, which is a business page for all your
Beautiful
styling
website.
needs, whether you're getting married, whether it's just for personal stuff. You could also go on the website www.exodusrealms.com. Book your consultation, anything styling related. I got you. And don't worry, even if I'm in Dallas, I've got a strong team that's behind me that is back home. We're able to move around. So that's no excuse for you to be styled up and look fresh, man.
Love it, bro. Love
Hey,
it.
love
That's
it.
fire, man. Well, shit, we appreciate it, bro. Like I'll
Respect.
have this out. Obviously, we'll have it pushed on social media. I'll have links sent out to you so you can download as well. But the episode will be officially out on Friday. We'll share it with you, man. We'll let the world listen to it. But man,
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate you, bro. Good
100.
luck to you out in Dallas. Obviously, you don't need the luck, man. The skills are gonna pay the bills. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you in my
Thank
neck
you,
of the
man.
woods, and I think that's dope. You out in Texas, where I'm from. So much love to you, bro. Do your thing. And obviously, if you ever need anything from us here, man, if you ever just want to jump on the show and talk about anything,
Yeah,
honestly,
bro.
man, our platform is your platform. Any day of the week, you just let us know, man.
Mm.
And
We
bro,
love having you, bro.
I
it's nice
appreciate
seeing
you
your
guys.
face, bro. I didn't even realize you were in Dallas right now, man.
Bro, yeah, man, I'm in Dallas, and like I said, man, I'm out here. There's a whole bunch of people doing podcasts, but it wouldn't have been right if I didn't do it with what I call home, man. The third dimension podcast, that's home, man. That's where it started.
Appreciate you.
So I'm out here. I'm always gonna be supporting, and I'm so excited for everyone that's gonna be coming out here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen the growth from the jump to where it's at now. It's y'all just scratching the ceiling, man. The potential is ginormous. It's
Amen.
ginormous.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. And
Yeah.
once this COVID shit relaxes, bro, I know we've been trying to get Dallas to go catch a Dallas game because Jordan's a huge Cowboys fan.
I am.
Obviously, I'm from
Good
over
year
there,
not
so
to go. I'm glad
yeah.
we didn't go this year.
But I'm sure whenever COVID relaxes, man, best believe it's gonna be a TDB trip out to Texas because I got to get my brother some of my mom's cooking, and we'll go down and see you, bro. Houston's a couple hours from Dallas for sure.
Maybe we can
No
see a
problem.
Mavericks versus Lakers game, bro. Watch Luka put it on LeBron, bro.
Listen, don't get
Yeah,
me started on that, man.
yeah,
I just
bro.
want to put it out there. Bron did win his fourth ring, right?
Yeah. Well,
You know-
what, bro? We'll have you on to debate that on our sports episode. You down with that or what?
Because I'm with you on it.
I'm
It'll
down
be
because-
it'll be me and you versus those two.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially
Cool.
after this year.
Just make sure you're ready.
Cool, bro.
It'll be
We'll make that
I'm
happen for
ready.
sure. We'll do that on Third Dimension Sports for sure. But Mota, man, I appreciate it. I know you're busy, man. I appreciate taking the hour with us, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and just close us out. For everybody, thank you again for following us on Instagram, our Facebook page, YouTube starting to grow. But Instagram and Facebook are our babies. We got hella following on there. Everybody that streamed us on whatever podcast network you use, Apple, Spotify, Overcast, whatever it is, man, we really, really appreciate it. But with that, it's your boy TG.
It's your boy Durrel.
Your boy Jordan.
Exodus.
Let's
Holla,
get it.
man. Peace out, bros.
Bye.